My name is Dan Ichinose. I direct the Demographic Research Project at Asian Americans Advancing Justice, Los Angeles. So I conduct research on Asian Americans and Pacific Islanders that helps inform community programs and advocacy. We run a Census Information Center, which is a program of the Census Bureau that's designed to disseminate census data to underserved populations. And we feel like providing data on Asian American and Pacific Islander communities to community organizations, policymakers, and others is really important. Many ignore the needs of our communities, and these kinds of analyses help people better understand and serve them. So we produce a series of reports called the Community of Contrasts, which draws together a lot of important data on Asian American and Pacific Islander communities. One of the key goals of that project is to disseminate disaggregated data or data on discrete Asian American and Pacific Islander ethnic groups. And given the tremendous social economic diversity that we see in our communities, it's really important that folks have access to data on specific communities so they can move to better serve their needs. There's probably three main ones. Growth has been a key, and I talked about that a little bit earlier today, that Asian American and Pacific Islander communities have been among the nation's fastest growing for decades now. And a lot of the data that we're seeing in recent years really continues that trend, right? So we see, even in places like LA, Asian Americans and Pacific Islanders are the fastest growing groups. So growth has been key. Social and economic diversity has been another important finding in our data. Many people have these stereotypes of Asian American and Pacific Islander communities as kind of uniformly successful. And these data from the Census Bureau and other sources really help us dispel that perception, right? Looking at these data, we understand that while some Asian Americans are doing well, others are really struggling. And we're using these data to really help raise the needs and concerns of some of those communities who are really facing struggles. Right, so we see struggles among Pacific Islander communities and Southeast Asian communities in particular. When you look at, say, poverty rates and look at those communities who are both proportionally most poor or most low income, you see groups like Vietnamese, Cambodian, Hmong, Laotian coming out with some of the highest poverty rates in both nationwide and in specific metropolitan areas. So those communities, without these data, those communities' needs wouldn't really be recognized by policymakers. Well, I think for policymakers, it really helps folks understand our communities better, right? That when they're working to serve low-income people, they can't ignore Asian Americans or Pacific Islanders. You know, whether it's language access in hospitals, whether it's serving folks with other kinds of programs targeting low-income communities, they really do need to include our communities both as clients and as participants in the programs that they conduct. So for marketers, you know, we see emerging markets, right? That these data help underscore the importance of Asian American communities in large markets like Los Angeles, like New York. But they also underscore the importance of Asian American communities in emerging markets. I talked a little bit about Dallas today. So that's an area that's experiencing tremendous growth, right? So marketers who are looking to engage new markets really need to look at our communities, right? Who are among the fastest growing in just about every major metropolitan area. There are a number of things. The first is maybe basic, right? To include Asian Americans and Pacific Islanders at all. I think you see a lot of research projects that lump Asian Americans and Pacific Islanders into another category, right? That doesn't allow for real analysis of our populations. Secondly, disaggregating Asian Americans from Pacific Islanders is important, right? Pacific Islander communities have unique needs, and when Pacific Islander communities are lumped in with Asian Americans, it makes it really difficult to understand their unique needs and concerns. I mentioned disaggregated data, right? So be able to not only collect data on Asian American and Pacific Islander ethnic groups, but report those data in any research that you do. given the importance of those disaggregated data, sample size is really important, right? So if you're conducting a survey, be sure to conduct a large enough, put together a large enough sample that allows for meaningful data on discrete ethnic groups. And always conduct surveys in language, right?